What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners video for today's 14-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Osmo.com. There's a lot of games to choose from, and it was a tough one for me to unpack today, so give me some support, like this video right now, and let's do a little twist today. Give me the pitcher who you think is going to give up the most home runs today down in the comments. If you comment that correctly, I won't give you anything for it, but I will be very proud of you. So right now, like this video and comment your pick to which pitcher is going to give up the most home runs today down below. And of course, later on in the video, I will announce the special winners of our Double Dong contest in the last Four Corners video, so keep your eyes peeled there. First corner I want to hit on are the top pitching options on today's slate. Noah Syndergaard going against Detroit is going to be the top owned pitcher industry-wide. He gets 2.8 implied runs against him, which is the lowest on today's slate. And as I mentioned, he is expected to be the top owned pitcher with 45% on DraftKings, 26% on FanDuel, and 58% on Yahoo. Syndergaard's price is solid versus the Detroit team with a 26.1% K rate, 134 ISO, and a 68 WRC plus versus right-hand pitching. So while Syndergaard hasn't been fantastic this year with an 8.9 K per 9 rate and an 11.1% swing strike rate, it's a solid spot worth the ownership. The Mets pitchers have been tough to trust recently, but Syndergaard's in a really good spot here versus Detroit. The Vegas total backs it out. The ownership's a little bit high, so I could see wanting to come under the field just a bit, but I still like Syndergaard a lot, and I'll have a decent amount of him today. Robbie Ray at San Francisco also looks pretty good today with 2.9 implied runs going against him. He's expected to be the number 2 owned pitcher today despite his rising price, and that price for Ray is kind of onerous, but his 11.5 Ks per 9 versus a team in San Francisco who has a 24.4% K rate and a 68 WRC plus and a positive pitching park gives him a nice combination of safety and upside. I think Ray's a little bit safer than Syndergaard, and I like the spot for him with really the only hitter I'm worried about opposing him is Tyler Austin, and that's not a whole lot to worry about because he strikes out a ton. It's a good spot for Ray overall. I think the safety is there. I think the upside's there, so I'll probably have a little bit more Ray than I do Syndergaard as long as the price works out. And Blake Snell against Cleveland also looks pretty good with 3.6 implied runs going against him. He's got a steep price as well given the Vegas total, but Snell's 19.2% swing strike rate and his 13 Ks per 9 are among the best in MLB. Cleveland's been bad versus left-hand pitching so far this year with a 142 ISO and a 24.8% K rate, but the lineup has underperformed relative to a longer sample size. Cleveland can get back on track, and I think that's what you're seeing with the Vegas total. I still like Snell's stuff enough, though, if I can afford him, and it's really hard to get there, I think, if you want to get any decently priced hitters. But I think Snell's in a really good spot. I think he's a great pitcher. I think it's a nice situation to get to him at probably lower ownership than he should be. Now onto our next corner, the top stacks on today's slate, and a Colorado stack going against America's hero, John Means, is going to be a very popular one today. They get 6.7 implied runs in their favor, which is a slate high, and Colorado's actually been pretty boomer bust versus left-hand pitching with a strong 2.8 ISO, but also a 27.4% K rate. Means can miss some bats, but Coors is a dangerous place for the 57.4% medium contact he allows, and guys like Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado are easily the most appealing parts of the Colorado lineup to me. I think I'm more inclined to get some mini stacks here because Colorado's pretty expensive for a lineup I don't love outside of Story and Arenado, maybe Mark Reynolds as well. It's a spot here, though, where I like Colorado a lot. The Vegas total really likes them. Obviously, being in Coors is great. It's a situation you're probably going to want to have some Colorado, mini stacks, full stacks, one-offs, probably want to taste them in a lot of lineups. On the other side, a Baltimore stack versus Jeff Hoffman's also appealing with 5.4 implied runs in their favor. They're not unreasonable prices for a Baltimore team who's in Coors, but Baltimore has been middling versus left-hand pitching with a projected lineup that has a 28% K rate and a 42.3% WRC plus. But Hoffman hasn't shown much in a limited sample size in the majors going back to last year with 13.8 hits per 9 allowed and a 9% swing strike rate. It's never fun to pay a lot for Baltimore, but they are a team who's shown some pop recently. Being in Coors is going to help, obviously. I think the prices work well enough. They're still a bit higher price than you want for Baltimore, but they're in Coors. I get it. Having some exposure there is probably something you're going to get a lot today with optimizers. And because of the high-priced, high-quality pitching options, a Miami stack going against Kyle McGowan should be popular today with 4.1 implied runs in their favor. They're projected for high ownership again with low prices, and McGowan not showing much with a 6.8% swing strike rate and 9 hits per 9 allowed in a limited 2019 sample size. It's always hard to love Miami, but McGowan seems iffy, and Washington bullpen has been hideous with a slate worst 1.6 whip, 10.3 hits per 9, and a 5.1 xFIP. I think, again, many stacks in Miami might be the move I would go with because Miami's hard to trust to get 5 guys to get to their full potential fantasy-wise, but I think you can get there in a variety of ways. It's still hard to love them when they're high-owned, but I think having some exposure to Miami makes sense because the prices work. You get some higher-priced bats and some higher-priced pitching in there, so I get why people would want to go there. Now, onto the lower-owned options on today's slate, and Drew Pomeranz going against Arizona is one of those guys. He gets 3.6 implied runs against him, and Pomeranz will have decent ownership on SB2 sites with a low price and a decent Vegas total in a pitcher's park, but Pomeranz has been iffy with an 8.5% swing strike rate and 9 Ks per 9, so if the ownership rises too high, a case can be made for some Arizona stacks with their solid 218 ISO and a 3.6% home run rate versus left-hand pitching. I think if Pomeranz is in the 10 to 20% ownership range, I'm okay with him and matching the field there because the upside's there based on the Vegas total, but Pomeranz really hasn't shown enough, so if he gets kind of chalky, I think I'm willing to go against him in addition to having some exposure his way. The San Diego stack versus Trent Thornton also interests me a bit here with 4.3 implied runs in their favor, which isn't great, and they are projected for a little bit of ownership due to their prices and a positive home run park versus Thornton, a guy who has a 3.9% home run rate on the year. Franmil Reyes and Hunter Renfroe are the most appealing to me, with both guys over a 7% home run rate versus right-hand pitching, but the whole lineup besides Ty Francis power. There's one other guy I'll talk about in the one-offs who also interests me, and a low total here does seem like it's at least worth a mini stack. Again, it's a positive home run hitting park. Thornton can give it up, and San Diego's going to go overlooked today because that total's not that great. A Dodgers stack versus Steven Brault also interests me today with no Vegas total for them yet. But the Dodgers are projected for under 10% ownership despite this matchup with Brault, who allows an 11.4 hits per 9 number as well as a 5.4% home run rate. Pittsburgh's park is one of the best for doubles and triples, so the stack here could really rack up runs if Brault gives it up. And also the fact that the Dodgers lineup might be lefty heavy doesn't worry me too much versus Brault because he's pretty much equally bad versus both sides of the plate. I like the Dodgers stack. I like them at low ownership. I think the spot here may be overlooked because there's no Vegas total early in their day. And Griffin Canning versus Texas is also a bit interesting with 3.9 implied runs against him. I think an argument could be made both for and against Canning, with Canning's 10.1 Ks per 9 and 17.7% swing strike rate, really strong numbers. But he also struggles versus lefties with a 5.6 xFIP and a 7% home run rate. Canning could be a problem for Texas in their first time seeing him, but a positive home run park and a Texas lineup with a 3.8% home run rate versus right-hand pitching makes both sides an interesting option without much ownership. I think Canning's a good pitcher, and I think Texas seeing him for the first time is going to help him out a bit. But if Texas does get to him, they can really put up big numbers in a positive home run park. So I'm going to have some exposure both ways because I think this could be a leverage situation where either way could end up being an important part of a tournament winning lineup. Now onto our last corner, the one-offs, and Christian Yelich going against Jared Eichhoff interests me a lot today. Eichhoff struggles versus lefties with a 5.7% home run rate and a 5.4 xFIP, and now he gets Yelich's 319 ISO and 7% home run rate in Miller Park, which also favors lefty power. I think a mini stack of Christian Yelich, Mike Moustakas, and Yasmani Grandal could be interesting, but Yelich is a one-off. You're going to pay a premium for him, but I think he can have a monster day here versus Eichhoff. It's a nice situation here being back home for him. We saw him chug that beer yesterday at the Bucks game, so I'm sure it's going to give him some extra power today, being in Miller Park. Pete Alonso versus Gregory Soto is also a higher price guy I like a lot today as a one-off. Alonso has murdered left-hand pitching with a 488 ISO and a 10.6% home run rate, while Soto's been brutal versus righties with a 4.9% home run rate and a 5.9 xFIP. The Mets lineup as a stack could also be interesting, but I think really Alonso's the only hitter I trust fully there. It's a nice spot here. I think he can have a big day, so I'm willing to pay his price a little bit here because I think he can have one of those outlier days. And Eric Hosmer versus Trent Thornton's a cheaper guy that I like a lot today. Thornton's been worse versus lefties with a 5.1 xFIP and a 5.2% home run rate allowed, while Hosmer's 125 WRC plus and 3.6% home run rate versus right-handed pitching make him a nice low-owned value guy. Again, I like that Padres stack. I like a mini stack of it. Reyes, Renfroe, and Hosmer would be a nice little grouping to have together. But Hosmer is a one-off guy who's going to be cheap, maybe open some things up. I think he's a guy who can have a big day here versus a guy in Thornton who hasn't shown a lot versus lefties. Now onto the winner of our little double dong contest in the last four corners video. We had three winners here. You can see them all right here. Kenny Graves, Derek Henderson, and Morgan Joseph. Congratulations to the three of you. All three of you chopping up my attention and love today with your pick of Gleyber Torres, who hit a double dong. He and Eloy Jimenez, the only guys hit a double dong in our last four corners video. So congratulations to you three heroes. You've all done it. You've all won my love and affection. Even though I could not remember all three of your names offhand, I'll try harder at that next time. But for the rest of you, you can get your time in the sun right now by liking this video and leaving a comment down below about which pitcher you think is going to give up the most home runs today. We talk about who's going to be the recipients of all the home runs, but there are a lot of pitchers out there who have to help that equation. It is two sides of the same coin here. So which pitcher is going to give it up the sweetest? Like the video and comment that pick down below. And of course, use the promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE for half off your first month of any Awesemo.com package. All the ownership projections, rankings, and of course the deep dive column every day, the top stacks, percentages. A lot of things are going to make you make better lineups every single day. The lineup builder, that'll most directly help you out. So use that promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE to get half off your first month. And tune into our live before lock show later today, in which our own Josh Engelman will be attempting to eat 100 pizza rolls on the show. It'll be me, Jake Hari, the baseball savant. We'll be talking baseball while Josh does this. It's going to be a fun thing. We're doing it right before Memorial Day. It's going to be, I know, a lot of people traveling for the holiday weekend, but if you're here, go join us. Watch it on your phone while you're at the beach, whatever, man. Just do it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. I'll be back again on Monday, or no, that's a holiday. I'll be back again on Tuesday for another Four Corners video, so enjoy your holiday weekend. Hopefully see you guys later on live before lock, and I'll see you guys again soon. Good luck.